I'm Carrie Patrick for WLX-TV's Eye on St. Lucie, where we explore and discuss school policies, operations, and instructional practices. Coming up in this segment, we'll help you take a closer look into the classrooms of St. Lucie Public Schools, get to know a few of our outstanding educators, and understand the impact they have on their students, their peers, and their community. For our first look, we'll tune in to Oak Hammock K-8 School, where we will find veteran educator Belkis Madeira and the 6th grade students of Oak Hammock hosting the Holocaust Remembrance Day. 30 child survivors of the Holocaust traveled from Palm Beach County to be their very special guest speakers. In a memorable and moving tribute, they will share their stories and experiences with students and staff.
Now, people ask me, why is it that I do this? Why are you so passionate about this? Well, for me, I've been teaching for 20-some years, and I used to teach about the Holocaust. But it was until 4.5 years ago when I met this very special man, my friend Norman Froshman, that my whole life was turned around. Because this is no longer just a unit of study for me. This is my passion, this is my mission in life.
I can actually speak from my experience because I've taught the Holocaust, for 17 years. But in the beginning, it was just another unit of history. It was just, a week in April because it was a mandate of Florida. I gave my all, as I do with all my other units. But as I started meeting Holocaust survivors one at a time, and I started going to these workshops from FAU, a whole week, meeting these Holocaust survivors, studying more in depth about, the history of it. It started changing me as a person and as a teacher. So the years after that, every time I went to a different workshop, it became more real for me. And as it became more real for me, it became more real for my students. I started seeking out other opportunities to actually meet more survivors. And I had an opportunity 4.5 years ago, where I was actually granted to go to Washington, D.C. through an FAU grant, and I studied there for 3 days. It was an intense workshop. There, I met a very important person, Norman Froshman.
Dear friends and all assembled guests, primarily my dearest, dearest friend under the sun, Ms. Lucie Madeira. Give it up for her. I really am privileged to spend some time with you. It became my favorite place and a highlight of the year to just be with you, my dear friends.
Norman, for me, is more than just a Holocaust survivor. He has become a very dear friend. We met there. We actually went through the whole museum together. We stayed at the same hotel. And on the way back, we actually sat next to each other on the plane. So we started talking.
And suddenly she says to me, that I ordered some books through the Florida University, and I have to wait a whole month for the delivery, and then they're going to loan it. And I says, what is the name of the book? She mentioned it, and this is the book that we came up with. And I says, Belkis, there is no more wait. The minute I came back to Florida, to Boynton Beach, immediately a set of class books went out to your school.
We start reading these stories. And what I do is I assign, like I said before, a Holocaust survivor to each child. And they read the story, they have to do a little research paper, and then they have to come up with a project, whether it is a portrait. We've done portraits. We've done where they have to actually paint a scene from their childhood that was a good memory and represent it with quotes. And the last thing we did was a diorama of their life. I mean, the children love these projects.
And then she kind of started to work at it. And I received phone calls, come and see what these kids created. Finally, she says, look, I'm going to pick you up and bring you back. And that was really the sticking point of everything. I said, a woman wants to come and pick me up. Let me see what it's about.
So after much prompting from my part, he decided to come. So his wife, himself, and another Holocaust survivor, Zelda Fuchsman, they came to my school 4.5 years ago. They did not anticipate what I had done with my students.
All of a sudden we come into Oak Hammock, and my dear friends, I have been speaking on the circuits, the Holocaust circuits, for over 30 years. Never, never, never have I encountered this beautiful surprise that I had found at your school. You are absolutely magnificent. And this is how I can describe it.
So when he came from the first book, he saw that I was inspired by some of the exhibits that I had seen at the museum. And we had a display in Building 3, which is the administration building. He was extremely impressed with that. Then they sent me a whole nother set of books, their second book, Childhood Lost, and I did the same thing. They were so impressed that the next year they brought a whole load, I mean, it was like a bus load of people. 80 people came the next year because he was so impressed. And for me, having the students actually read stories of Holocaust survivors and then meet a Holocaust survivors, for me, that's the most important thing.
Just want to tell you who you are and what do you mean to us. You are our emissaries and the carriers of goodwill for the future.
The most important thing for me is for them to actually meet some of these survivors that they actually researched. They couldn't even believe, when I say Norman is my friend, they couldn't believe that, how can you be friends with Norman? Because for them, Norman is this person that's in a book, you know, just like we study, you know, Alexander the Great, and we studied George Washington, and these other, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. They can't meet these people, but they can actually meet a Norman Froshman, a Zelda Fuchsman, a Henny Gallel. After they research that and they actually meet the person that they have researched, for them, that is, what an amazing experience. And that's what I want to bring to my students. This, you know, this is history in the making. So my students are actually going to be witnesses that these people actually existed and that the Holocaust actually happened. Because right now we know that a lot of people are saying that it never happened. So for me, that's very important, for them to understand and to touch and feel and ask questions. And it's more than what they can actually get from just reading it from a book or from a history novel.
When I go to schools, students are always prepared to say thank you to me after I get through speaking. But I turned around. The thanks out to you young people. We are so thankful for you giving us an opportunity to speak and to try and create a better world for you. Just want to tell you who you are and what do you mean to us. You are our emissaries and the carriers of goodwill for the future.
Today was a really great experience. For the first time ever, I get to meet one of the most important people who have survived the most important time, the Holocaust, a horrifying time period. It was a really great time to meet them, and they seemed really nice. They were really grateful with all the work that we've done, and I just wish that I could have more time with them. They are really great and really nice. And this has taught me a lot about how we all deserve to live in peace and safety. And this should never be forgotten. This should always be held in all your hearts. And thank God for having all these people here with us today. Thank you.
We learned about the Holocaust survivors and their life story, and we got to meet them in person. It was just such a wonderful day. So emotional. It's just such a wonderful time to learn about what happened during their lives and where they've been. And today I got to walk around with them all through the school and got to let them speak to the smaller kids. And they kept on saying to me all day long that I'm like the gates to their future. I want to keep on bringing their life and about the Holocaust forward.
I met them, I touched them, I read their biographies, and this is what I know today, right? So we pledge as a team. We pledge to never forget. Do we pledge to never forget? Yeah. Do we? Yeah. Okay.
I need to continue with what I'm doing. I want to bring history alive for my students, not just, the Holocaust unit, but every other unit. For example, I've seen an aqueduct when I went to Spain. Like I've been to a shrine when I went to South Korea and Japan. So I travel to all these places because I get these grants, and I've been blessed to go to these other places. So I want to bring that experience to my students when they see these videos and when they see the pictures, and then I can explain to them how it feels, walking through a shrine and all this smoke is, it's like hitting my eyes, and I'm tearing up, and I hear the drum sounds, and, in the festival, and how it is, to eat like a soba noodle, and you have to slurp it because in Japan, that's the right thing to do. It's like they get mesmerized and they really get into it. So I want to bring more experiences like that, whether through my own experiences or to bring other people into my classroom.
Next, we meet St. Lucie Elementary teacher Joseph Richardson. We learn that Commissioner of Education Pam Stewart sent him a letter recognizing him for his successes as one of the highest impact teachers of the state of Florida. On behalf of the Florida Department of Education, he's invited to participate in the High Impact Teacher Corps.
Very good. Let's get a job in hand. 1, 2, 3. All right. So, 24, Jarvis, where he made a mistake at. You got to remember where the place value goes at. So, we did the conversion. We converted the pounds to ounces. And as we continue, in ounces, step 2.
I was selected for this impact of teacher, educator, for many reasons. I think it was because I was part of the Minority Teacher of the Year in that category for my school, St. Lucie Elementary, and it put me in the pool to be a part of the Impact Teacher Award, the Impact Teacher program that I can be a part of. And I just wanted to say thank you for selecting me out of so many other prestigious teachers here in St. Lucie County, and I really appreciate it.
All right, who would like to share? Who would like to share the answer? 24. How did you get 24?
Because 1.5 times 16 equals 24.
I have a class of various students, 22 students, and we focus on various subjects. And I think because of my experience as an educator for so many years, give me a wealth of different knowledge about what I can give to my unique class.
So, how many quarts equal 1 gallon? 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. Okay, so Let's break it down a little bit further. So, well, how many pints equal 1 gallon? Oh, you got to think now.
I hope to gain more knowledge where I can bring it back to my classroom, add on to what I already do in the classroom. In my classroom, you know, I believe in being fair and being honest with the student and being respectful. So as long as I give respect to the students in the classroom, I desire that back. And since I've been teaching, that's all I've been doing, just giving the respect. And most of the time, most of the time, they give me respect back. So I'm hoping that this Impact Corps session that I'm being part of, I hope that it will help me to be more impactful to the students in the classroom.
How many cups equals a gallon?
2 points. So
how many cups?
8 times 2 is 16.
16. Very good. Very good. Okay, write that in your math journal. Write that in your math journal. Thank you.
And that's why I love to teach, you know, because every day brings something different. You know, it brings something different in the classroom, and it brings something different to the students, you know. Sometimes I have to be an actor. Sometimes I have to put on a stern face. Sometimes I can, you know, just tell them it's time to get it, you know, time to get it. So they know when it's time to get it, especially this time of year right now. We're getting ready for the FSA, and we just know it's just straightforward. So I just be honest with them. I be open with them. And so as I'm being open with them and letting the parents know what's going on in the classroom, they know they'll give me back that openness back. And they know that, hey, when I'm serious, it's time to be serious, okay? And so, you know, it just, every day is just something different, something that I can give back to them. Hopefully they'll gain it and it'll impact their life. So that's why I love this part of teaching and having the class to come to and just being able to share my life and then be able to listen to them to share their life with me, plus learn at the same time.
You said 1 point. You got to come to the board and do that. I got to see what you're doing. You're probably right. I don't know, but I have to see what you're doing. You did everything right. You did everything. Think about place value. Think about place value when you get it. I know this, what place value is this 6? The place value, that's 1. So when I multiply this number, I'm starting the 1's place value. What place value is this 1? The 10s. So when I multiply 1 times 5, what place value did I start this 5? Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you a chance.
What excites me about this is when you have someone to trust you. Having administrators to trust you and just to let you be able to teach and be able to share what you have and trust you with that and know that you're going to do it the right way, the St. Lucie County way, that goes a long ways, you know. Because many times if you don't have that, you know, you be kind of shaky, shall I do this, not? So just to have that administrator or someone around you that trusts you, that know that, hey, I feel like you can do it, Mr. Richardson. And you know, that kind of boosts you a little bit. And so, you know, that excites me. You know, it excites me that, hey, to have someone to feel like they could trust me to do this, to be able to be impactful, that goes a long way.
So about 2 cups. So write that down somewhere. So 2 cups equals how many pints?
1.
2 cups equals 1 pint. All right? So we have that. So we got 2 cups here. All right? So Malachi, come on. So let's.
And what keeps me coming back is the kids. Once again, the students, the smiles on their face coming in the classroom in the morning time, excites me to be here, just to be able to share, to give them something for our future. They are our future, so to give them something what they will need and just to carry on to the next grade, that excites me every day.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea.
rise and everybody look up.
Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
In other recognition news, Valerie Arendes, teacher at Port St. Lucie High School, was among 23 teachers selected to be the Bearing Teacher Ambassador for National History Day during the 2016-2017 school year. She will reveal to us how she showed outstanding creativity, commitment, and inspiration in developing students' interests in history education in order to meet the high standards for selection for this prestigious recognition.
What are you interested in? What would you like to learn more about in history? What's cool to you? What sort of steps out and, you know, excites you or gets you interested? So even though there's every year, we can as teachers say, here's some ideas. I don't really like to do that with students. I like to say, no, what are you interested in? And I basically have them brainstorm, okay? And that's really how I like to get them started. One of the reasons that I'm sitting here is the fact that I'm a recipient of 2012 of a Florida Award for high school teachers. And with that award, I received money, their money, and then I was asked to continue to help grow History Fair. I'm one of many coordinators in the county, and I don't think I have any more passion, anything than any of the other coordinators have. It's just that somehow this is the way that it's played out. I had never heard of National History Day. I came into St. Lucie County in the year 1999. I had only previously taught in Costa Rica for about a year and a half as an English teacher. And I knew that if I was going to teach full-time, that I would want to teach in the social studies area because it's really, you can go anywhere with the subject. I wanted some more education for myself, so to speak, as well, and that's exactly what teaching offers. So in 1999, I had a department chair. Her name is Diane Jones, and I remember her coming to me at the end of the year, and she said, Val, she said, I tell you what, I'm going to give you an offer you sort of can't refuse. I'm going to give you half of my stipend for History Fair, and all I really want you to do is come to the award ceremony at City Hall. Back then it was held at City Hall, and just see what it's all about, because I think you would be really, really well qualified for the coordinator's position next year, and I think the kids will do well with you as their leader. So, of course, it was an offer I couldn't refuse, and I was excited about it, and I went, and I was completely blown away by the projects that these kids had really presented. It was unbelievable. So, here I am, 16 years later, and really, the primary reason that I guess I'm sitting in this seat is it has really nothing to do with me, per se. It has to do with, I really think, the St. Lucie County family. You know, it's not ever about, there's no I in team. So I've been lucky, I've been fortunate, and I guess because of that luck and that fortune, I'm sitting here. The power of history, I guess it comes from getting kids to tap into what are they interested in knowing more about? And are they interested in knowing more about themselves? This is really what I like about it. You can really discover who you are by looking into your own history. You know, where do you come from? Where does your family come from? How far back can you trace your own roots? And, you know, in today's world, let's just face it, you know, a lot of parents are working. We have a high divorce rate in this country. Kids are less and less sitting down at the table with their families. So what I like about this is it sort of can spark a kid to sit down and say, hey mom, hey dad, hey grandma, hey grandpap, what can you tell me more about myself? what can you tell me about our name? Where did we come from? How did we get here? You know, et cetera, et cetera. And if they're not interested in learning about their own personal history, because that's what I try to get them to do. Try to go in the arena, is there anybody in your family history that was known or famous for something? My inspiration is probably the same inspiration that the other coordinators in St. Lucie County probably prescribe to, and that is the inspiration is student learning. And there's really nothing more enjoyable than seeing active learning in the eyes of students. And really seeing kids getting excited about learning about history. Generally, when you're in your early teens, middle teens, history is probably one of the last subjects you want to come to school and maybe learn about. But, you know, the teachers obviously have passion for history, and with the National History Day program, most of the coordinators, in fact all of the coordinators, would agree that this particular platform that this program provides is really an incredible opportunity for students to get involved in. They get the opportunity to, number one, think about maybe ideas or events or people that they are somehow attracted to or think about when they're growing up, and they like to know a little bit more about these people, ideas, or events, or changes, and get to read more about them, and get to research more, and get to write and reflect, and produce an actual project with their idea in mind. With History Fair, there's 9 categories that include either individual or group participation. Students can either write a paper, create a website, create a documentary, create an exhibit, or act out in a performance. Today there's over 600,000 kids in grades 6 through 12 and over 25,000 teachers participating in their communities and states. This culminates with an exciting national final. Competitions with medals, cash prizes on the campus of the University of Maryland outside of Washington, D.C. Is where this all ends up. With my platform, I want to try to, and of course this is very new, some people don't even know that I get this platform this year to be an ambassador. I want to call all the coordinators together. I want us to sit down and talk about how we can actually grow History Fair in 3 ways. Socially, politically, economically. There is a lot of room for growth. I really want to talk to all the stakeholders here in St. Lucie County, our board members, our superintendent, the leaders of curriculum right here in St. Lucie County. In addition, I'm going to be partnering up with our state coordinator. His name is Trampus Alderman. When I go to Washington, D.C. in July, obviously, I'll be talking to those 22 other candidates that are also going up to DC, and we're going to be sitting around the room for a couple of days, seeing what's working in everybody's particular district and seeing how we can help it to grow. We're charged with really helping it to grow. It's sort of an easy job, but not so easy. It's more than just learning about something, it's connecting to something. So that's what I like about this. I try to make the personal connections with the kids. That's my favorite part of this whole process.
And there you have the scoop on 3 of the many outstanding St. Lucie Public Schools educators. Their passion for providing an engaging and relevant educational experience to our students shines through, and we thank them for the work they do for each child every day. I, along with the staff of WLX-TV, thank you for joining us today. St. Lucie Public Schools has a commitment to staying focused on teaching and learning, safe and caring schools, talent development for all staff, communications, customer service, and community connections. Take a closer look into your St. Lucie Public Schools. Download our app, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. You'll be glad you did.